Malleus Maleficarum. Hatred of women and blatant sexism in the witch hunting manual. Malleus Maleficarum, translated as the Hammer of Witches, is a haunting testament to a dark chapter in history when fear, superstition, and religious fervor fueled witch hunts across Europe. Written in 1486 by Heinrich Kramer and Jacob Sprenger, two Dominican friars, this infamous book became a manual for the identification, persecution, and prosecution of witches. The Malleus Maleficarum not only serves as a grim guide to the persecution of supposed witches, but also reveals a deeply ingrained misogyny that fueled the witch hunts of the European Renaissance. This grotesque book harbours a disturbing undercurrent of sexism and prejudice against women. Origins and purpose. Commissioned by Pope Innocent VIII, the Malleus Maleficarum was intended to provide a systematic guide for inquisitors dealing with the perceived threat of witchcraft. The authors, Kramer and Sprenger, sought to legitimize and streamline the prosecution of those accused of practicing witchcraft. The text gained widespread acceptance, especially during the height of the European witch trials in the late 16th and 17th centuries. Contents of the Malleus Maleficarum. The Malleus Maleficarum is divided into three parts. Theological arguments. The treatise begins with theological arguments justifying the existence of witches and the need for their persecution. It emphasizes the idea that witchcraft is a heresy against the Christian faith. Practical guidance. The second part provides practical guidance for identifying, questioning, and prosecuting witches. It includes methods for extracting confessions, often through the use of torture. Supernatural elements. The final part delves into the supernatural aspects of witchcraft, discussing the alleged pact with the devil, the use of demonic powers, and the supposed ability of witches to fly. Origins of misogyny. The Malleus Maleficarum opens with theological arguments that lay the groundwork for its misogynistic narrative. The authors perpetuate the idea that women are inherently more susceptible to witchcraft due to their perceived moral and intellectual inferiority. This deeply entrenched sexism permeates the entire treatise, influencing its interpretations and conclusions. Witchcraft as a female crime. The Malleus Maleficarum explicitly depicts witchcraft as a predominantly female crime, reinforcing gender stereotypes of women as inherently wicked and seductive. The manual suggests that women's susceptibility to witchcraft stems from their emotional and physical weaknesses, portraying them as vessels easily corrupted by the devil. Justification for persecution. The treatise not only justifies the persecution of women accused of witchcraft, but actively encourages it. The authors argue that women are more prone to form pacts with the devil and engaged in malevolent practices, further solidifying the image of the witch as a woman. Torture and confessions. The Malleus Maleficarum endorses the use of torture to extract confessions, often targeting women. The manual's guidance on the brutal interrogation of accused witches reflects its deeply rooted belief that women, by their nature, are deceitful and must be subjected to extreme measures to reveal their alleged crimes. Consequences for women. The blatant sexism within the Malleus Maleficarum had devastating consequences for women during the European witch trials. Countless innocent women faced persecution, torture, and execution based on the unfounded and prejudiced beliefs propagated by the manual. The misogyny embedded in the treatise contributed to the systemic oppression of women throughout the Dark Period. Legacy of misogyny. While the Malleus Maleficarum is a historical artifact, its legacy endures in highlighting the dangers of misogynistic beliefs, the abuse of religious authority, and the catastrophic consequences of allowing gender bias to permeate legal and social structures. The mistreatment of women during the witch trials remains a stark reminder of the enduring struggle against sexism and the importance of vigilance in challenging discriminatory ideologies. Impact and consequences. The Malleus Maleficarum played a significant role in the intensification of witch hunts. Its authoritative tone and detailed instructions legitimized the persecution of thousands of individuals, primarily women, accused of witchcraft. The methods endorsed by the treatise, including torture, fueled hysteria and led to countless wrongful accusations and executions. Criticism and decline. While the Malleus Maleficarum gained widespread acceptance during its time, it was not without its critics. Some ecclesiastical authorities questioned its legitimacy, and by the mid-17th century its influence began to wane. The Age of Enlightenment ushered in a more rational and skeptical approach, eventually leading to the decline of widespread witch hunts. Conclusion. The Malleus Maleficarum not only stands as a chilling manual for the persecution of those accused of witchcraft, but also exposes the deeply ingrained misogyny that fueled the witch hunts. Acknowledging and confronting the blatant sexism within this historical text is crucial for understanding the broader implications of prejudice, discrimination, and the enduring fight for gender equality in our contemporary world. The Malleus Maleficarum remains a relic of an era when the fear of witchcraft led to horrific persecution and tragedy. Its legacy serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to remain vigilant against the dangers of unfounded accusations, mass hysteria, and the abuse of power in the name of religious or social conformity.